Good morning. Good morning. Odon here in the Tri-State Traffic Center. Excuse me. Oh, wow. It's a Monday morning, right? That's the case. Boy, the pollen out there is really brutal. It's just unbelievable. So, wow. Excuse me. Not the best way to start off a Monday, although the roads are starting to heat up a little bit. So we'll get to that in just a quick moment. Just want to give you a quick update from Friday. So we were on for about 15, 20 minutes or so, and unfortunately lost the internet. So that's why the show was only about 15, 20 minutes in that neighborhood. So just kind of a little housekeeping there, just to let everyone know what was going on. I couldn't even really reach out because I didn't have any internet to go ahead and make any kind of posts. So with that said, we're up and running now for a Monday morning, May the 16th. Hopefully you had a terrific weekend. Again, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, and on YouTube. So please, we'll open up the comments here in just a moment. Go ahead and leave a comment on Facebook and YouTube. Twitter, I can't see the comments, unfortunately, but only YouTube and Facebook, I can read those comments. So go ahead and leave a comment here for the Tri-State Traffic Show, and we're going to get right into things here this morning. So let's set this up. We will go ahead and bring up the full screen. Let's take our banners off here this morning. We're going to switch banners. Going to go there. We're going to bring that back up. And we also have a little bit of weather being brought to you by Mr. John Rocco is joining the Tri-State Traffic Show here for the morning rush hour. So we'll get to weather at 15 and 45. That's kind of the time frame we're going to keep. And again, we are sponsored by the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery in beautiful downtown Cranford in Cranford, New Jersey. So with that said, let's get to the maps right away. Go ahead and bring up my camera as well. Oh, we want this one there. Again, folks, it's still a little bit of a work in progress. So kind of keep that in mind. Now we head on over towards the Parkway. We've had some issues here over the last 20 minutes or so. There was a northbound vehicle fire at 148 in Bloomfield. So that's why we're delayed south of 280 back to about 143 into 148. And again, just building into that regular volume as well, getting in towards the morning rush hour here at 7:07. But for the most part, it's, fairly quiet. It's slow progression of traffic here this morning. When we get to the weather, there are some issues for the evening, late afternoon, and evening commute. So it's possible some of our friends are trying to make their way out a little bit earlier. If you have to head into work, to get in a little bit earlier and then leave earlier before some of this weather. And again, we'll get to weather here in about 7 minutes at 7:15. All right, so let's go towards Route 80, getting into Route 15. Starting to see some backups here, back towards Howard Boulevard and exit 30. Also southbound 15, getting south of about, I'd say the Jefferson area, Jefferson Diner. In that location, a little bit busy. Then east into exit 35 is going to be a little slow, I should say. Then as you get out towards 287, also starting to see some traffic as well. So we got our first comment of the new work week. Alexandra, good morning from East Rutherford. Good morning to you. If you're heading out to the city, she's one of our loyal viewers. Let us know what the Main Bergen line is doing here this morning. Wow, it's a Monday. I don't know. I feel like I'm maybe still half asleep. Not quite sure. Stayed up a little bit later than I should have. One, to go see the eclipse. We couldn't see anything because of the clouds. And two, listening to the New York Ranger game. Real exciting stuff. So the Rangers move on. The Penguins 4-3 in Game 7 in overtime. Doesn't really get much better than NHL playoff hockey. All right, so with that said, again, 287 and the 80 interchange, we are fine. 280 is good. All of North Jersey, not a problem. 117, 287, and the Parkway is fine, except for the issues here I mentioned just a moment ago as we head out towards about exit 148. Now we're starting to creep back almost towards 78. So let's go full screen with that, shall we? There we go. Making it a little bit easier for us. So now as we go east onto 80 is starting to be a little bit busy, as word is still kind of getting out that they just cleaned up this vehicle fire north of 148. Some could be bailing here at 280. And also 19, really busy here on the local side, getting up in towards the Skyway and truck routes 1 and 9. Inbound Holland is about 30 or so. Same thing with Lincoln. We'll get to that in a minute. And the inbound side of the Bay Extension, a little crowded here at the Turnpike. So just kind of normal progression of traffic. Check out this 78. A little bit of red here this morning coming in towards Watchung. I have a feeling that's a crash, and that's what it looks like. I'm going to say out by Sterling Road and Hillcrest Road and exit 40. So it's just before exit 40. You want to watch for that crash. So it's basically just east of the Warren area and King George Road, which I've been out this way in a while. I believe that's exit 36. Let's see. Yep, there we go. It's like riding a bicycle, folks. You just don't forget. And Alexandra says, no commute to the city today, but go Rangers. Yeah, it's exciting stuff. Playoff hockey is usually the most exciting time of the year. So it really is a lot of fun, especially anytime you see an overtime. And there was a lot of game sevens in the NBA and the NHL yesterday. Well, maybe if we have some time later in the show, we'll run down a couple of those scores. So we've got some issues here, I think. Let's see, along Route 1. No, just some volume here. Again, just some volume south of Top Golf and south of 287. So just some traffic light delays there. But the Turnpike, we are fine all up and down the entire area. Same thing on the Parkway through Ocean and Atlantic counties on what Cape May. AC Expressway looks pretty good for our Southern Jersey friends here watching the 55-42 interchange. When is that not backed up? Pretty solid ride here as well. Let's go back over towards the city now at 7:12. We're going to try to hold this to 7:15 because, again, I have to get to weather at 7:15 here this morning. But I just want to do a quick spot check. Outer Bridge Crossing, a little bit slow. I don't have any reports of any issues, but it could have been something there getting into the toll plaza. So that's beginning to thin out. Staten Island Expressway, pretty much from the Goethals, just east of the West Shore, all the way to the Verrazano. Inbound Gowanus is heavy through Industry City. When is that not an issue? Getting up and onto the BQE all the way to the Brooklyn Bridge is going to be a sluggish ride. The outbound side looks like we may have an accident there. So let's go over to the city DOT cameras. Let's see what we can find here at 7:12 is our time. Good morning. Watching the Tri-State Traffic Show. Appreciate you coming on board here this morning on this Monday morning. Let's just bring over the maps for the cameras. So we want to go to Brooklyn. There we go. And let's see what we can find here. This is not cooperating. So we go over towards 37th. Let's see. This is inbound. That's out on the left. I don't see anything there. Let's just see what that's 4th Ave. That's not going to do us any good. So we'll come up a little bit further up the line. 26th Street, that's outbound, that heads away. Here's let's see. No, this is the outbound side. Pardon me. So yeah, so there's something going on here with these. Looks like the one vehicle, and we have two other emergency vehicles behind it closing up the right lane. So let's go back towards our maps, shall we? And we will see how far back that gets. Yeah, it goes across the top of the world, really, back towards the Battery Tunnel. So maybe about 5-8 minutes or so. Just move over to the far left if you can. That would be the preferable spot. And again, all the way up to the Brooklyn Bridge is heavy pretty much in both directions. Let's check out that BQE across the Kosciuszko Bridge. South of Queens Boulevard is heavy. Again, the northbound side has been cleared. It had been closed for some time there with an investigation, but that is now long gone. The Van Wyck is heavy from the Belt into Jackie Robinson. Westbound LIE building volume through Queens at the Grand Central. Same thing on the westbound Belt. So from Sunrise all the way out to the airport, and the Cross Island is now getting hit hard, getting all the way up in towards the LIE. So let's take a quick check of the Bronx and the Thruway Neck and the Whitestone Bridge. Seeing a lot of extra company there this morning, heading in towards Queens, westbound of the Cross Bronx and the Bruckner, all heading westbound or southbound of the Bruckner into the Bronx River Parkway is going to be slow. And the Deegan is doing what it does best here at 7:15, heading south of 230th Street as you get out towards Yankees Stadium. So that's going to be a bit of a slow ride. Same thing, I should say, on the Bronx River Parkway. Now, quick spot check along Island, westbound Southern. As you get west of the Meadowbrook is a little bit slow on to exit 19. And again, we're heavy in towards 109. But when is that not usually an issue here? Over towards 110. And a quick check of the LIE, building some volume in towards 111 out of Vets. And then again in towards Deer Park Avenue. And then a little bit heavier here at 135. And then westbound is a little bit sluggish, makes us 40 all the way out through 39, and again in towards the Queens line. So, with that said, let's get to your forecast here this morning. And the forecast is going to be brought to you by Mr. John Rocco. He is a Rutgers meteorology student, and he is also the president of the Weather Watcher Club. So let's talk to our friends here for the AM Morning Commute. So let me just bring up his. He's going to be joining us, just unable to join us here for the next couple of days. Johnny is a little under the weather, so we wish him well and getting better, but he will be joining us on the broadcast with some taped reports for us. Going to be eventually, hopefully, when school gets out, that he'll be able to join us live in the morning. But again, John, get well, buddy. I appreciate everything you're doing here for the Tri-State Traffic Show. Very, very nice young man, and he wants to be a on-camera meteorologist. He's going in the right direction. These are his graphics, so please follow him. You'll see his Twitter handle at the bottom of the screen, John Rocco WX. Certainly follow him for the latest forecast. So, all right. So the AM morning commute, more clouds than sun across the area here this morning, as you probably can tell. Again, as I mentioned, I went out to see the eclipse last night and was unable to because there was just no way. There was just way too many clouds there. The commute forecast here this morning for Long Island, looking at in towards the low 60s, upper 50s to low 60s. So again, it's just feels a little muggy. I have the fan and the AC on in the traffic center here this morning. Let's take a look at the five boroughs. A little bit warmer there in towards the mid 60s, pushing 65 in Hell's Kitchen, 64 on Staten Island, and 64 in Flatbush. As we continue over towards the commute forecast here for the Garden State, a little cooler down in South Jersey, 59 for AC, 59 in Cape May, 65 in Camden, 65 in Trenton, and 66 in Newark. So again, slightly cooler at those shore points, but Johnny says that it's going to warm up pretty nicely here this afternoon. And we'll check out the Hudson Valley commuter forecast in towards the lower 60s, about 63 in Poughkeepsie, 64 in Yonkers, and 63 in Middletown. Let's head up to Connecticut. Litchfield County up in Torrington, 62 there, 63 for Waterbury, and a little cooler along the shoreline, as he says, about 61 in Norwalk and Bridgeport. Now, your Monday forecast is going to be a very warm day is on the way. Yesterday was fairly warm as well. Today is going to be up in towards the upper 70s to lower 80s for the inland areas, a bit cooler along the Jersey Shore and the South Shore of Long Island, with highs in 80s. Watch for that here today. Be on the lookout for some scattered storms for the afternoon. That's what I was mentioning earlier. On the main event for later on in the evening and late afternoon, it's going to get relatively ugly out there. That's what John is saying for the evening commute. So perhaps you should try to, leave work a little bit early. Be heads up. Be definitely weather aware and eye to the sky. Elevated risk for severe thunderstorms with threats to include possibly damaging winds, wind gusts over 60 miles an hour, hail, and isolated tornado threat, and perhaps some isolated flash flooding issues as well. Once again, you want to follow John on his weather page on Twitter. That'd be John Rocco WX. Give him a follow. I thank John for the forecast here this morning, again, with those PM severe storms. Nothing really cooking for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. John is saying that the next few days after this evening severe storms have passed are actually looking pretty good. So let's take a look at our. Let's go back to transit. Let's check in here this morning with NJ Transit, shall we? And we'll see what the scene is here this morning. So far, so good. It looks like. Let's bring things over to the River Line. We're seeing a little bit of a delay, and that's the 757 departure out of Trenton. It's going to be canceled because of operator availability. So you want to watch for that here this morning. Let's bring up our sponsor. Again, we're sponsored by Crawford Vanilla Bean Creamery. Let's head on over to Connecticut because we're just about in that time frame here this morning. And let's just check out Path first. The situation is here this morning. That will come up. Let's see what we got. There we go. Path alerts. Anything happening on Path here this morning? Service advisory the 15th. That was from yesterday. So path, we are going to be in the clear. So let's take path out of the equation and we will go to Connecticut. Let's see what we got here this morning. Or if there's any issues there, we're going to have to go on this expressway camera. Let's take a look at Connecticut. Delays 95. When is that not an issue? Same thing along the Merritt Parkway. 84, couple incidents there up in Waterbury. That's a little bit out of our viewing area. So let's go back to the maps. We'll head across the sound. We'll show you there on the maps. Again, just some normal volume coming out of Bridgeport on down towards the Fairfield area. As you get south of that over towards Route 7, that's going to be a pretty busy ride. We'll go 18 down through 11, and then further down the line from 8 on over towards just about 5. Also, that Merritt Parkway, pretty backed up here now from roughly about exit 46 through 44, and then a heavier push out towards 41, and then from 39 all the way down to 36, we are going to be slow. But again, just normal volume for the morning rush hour. Let's head over towards Rockland County with the southbound Thruway. We are a little bit slow here this morning. Get out of the Garden State Parkway connector into the Palisades. We'll go 14, 13, all the way down through about 11. But the Tappan Zee Bridge starting to build a little bit of early traffic there across the span of the Tappan Zee. Let's head over towards the city, state cameras, I should say. See if we can pull up a couple cameras on that Mario Cuomo Tappan Zee. Zoom in up towards that area. Time now is 7:22. Good morning to you. You're watching the Tri-State Traffic Show here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Certainly go ahead and leave a comment on YouTube and Facebook only. I cannot read the Twitter comments, but certainly go ahead and follow me at Odon Traffic, and certainly go ahead and leave a comment, and I can take a look at it later this morning. But there's your southbound Thruway, and a lot of this is volume plus sun glare equaling a pretty sluggish ride heading out towards the Tappan Zee. So let's just take a look at the bridge itself. It's just right in here. Let's see if we can pull up one of these cameras. Of course, the only camera I bring up is temporarily unavailable, right? So actually, that looks like there may be a little fog here across the bridge. Yeah, a little bit of fog, with that sun trying to burn through it. So, it almost feels like one of those early summer mornings, especially what John said, with the weather going to really start to heat and cook up here later on this afternoon with the potential for some of those severe storms. So again, follow him at John Rocco WX on Twitter. All right, let's take a look at this camera, just showing maybe a little bit of light fog, almost like a little San Francisco kind of fog when it comes across the Golden Gate Bridge as it makes its way across the span of the Cuomo Tappan Zee Bridge, but it doesn't look like it's going to impact traffic terribly as far as the visibility. We may want to just slow down just a little bit here this morning. So with that said, the rest of the Hudson Valley, let's widen up here and bring our maps back up. Coming up on 724. Rest of the maps look pretty good on 84. Same thing on the Thruway. A little bit busy here west on 84 into Brewster, and same thing on 684. Again, really not anything out of the ordinary here for the morning rush hour. Let's call up the MTA. We'll check out Metro North and Long Island Railroad, see what the story is there. We've got started there first. So we go towards Metro North, Ron or close, Long Island Railroad. That is moving fine. Let's go back to the city for the subways. The R and the W train, we've got some delays there. We've got some police investigation work being done because of a person being disrupted at 34th Street and Herald Square. Okay, so watch for that there on the R and the W lines. So with that said, we're coming up on 724 now. We'll go to the Hudson River crossings. Let's check out that scene here this morning. And probably in that half hour mark, pretty much across the board. Yeah, about 35 to 40 for the George, 30 at the Lincoln, and about 25 to 30 at the Holland. Typical stuff for, the Monday morning commute as we make our way on the approach in towards 7:30. So let's go back to the cameras. I mean, where am I going to go here now? Let's see. We're going to go back to New Jersey because they're coming up on 7:30 here very, very shortly. We're at 7:26. So what we want to do is let's do a quick break before the bottom of the hour, and we want to talk to you about our sponsor. That will be the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. Uh, Awesome ice cream. Some of the best homemade ice cream throughout the tri-state area, and weather is starting to get warmer now, so everyone has that, you know, um, urge to go for ice cream. That's certainly what you want to do. What you want to do is head over to beautiful downtown Cranford in historic Cranford, historic Union County, right off of the Raritan Valley line of New Jersey Transit, right across the street. Go in and talk to my good friend Ralph at the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery, and go ahead and sample some of his amazing flavors. You see those little vanilla cupcakes there. We'll get to those in a moment, but he has the core three: vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, bananas, Foster's, and award-winning ice cream, as well as his party cake. That's one of my personal favorites. And you mix that in with a little, maybe, I say mint chocolate chip or something. You can make any kind of combination you want. Have sundaes, they have shakes, they have the other treats, as I mentioned, is these cupcakes, which are really awesome. Same thing with the flying saucers and the chip witches here. Really good stuff with the chocolate chip cookies. Just amazing ice cream, all homemade, all made from scratch. She also has sorbets, which are really good on these warm and muggy evenings, kind of sitting outside. Had the blood orange sorbet about a week ago or so, and just top shelf stuff. I mean, really, really good. Uh, very refreshing, very light. The sorbets. He also has some sugar-free ice cream. He also has some frozen yogurts as well. So certainly go ahead and check out Ralph, my good friend Ralph, over at the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. They are located in beautiful downtown Cranford, and you can contact him at 272-3000. There's a picture of the shop there, right across the street, right next to the Garlic Rose, and right across the street from the beautiful clock in the center square. And his hours are going to be from about Mondays. He's actually open now. He just started that just last week, so he is open today from about 12:30 to about 9:30 or so, and a little later on the weekends until about 10. So certainly, if you're in the New Jersey area looking for some of the best ice cream around, head on over towards Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery, and you can find him with the information at the bottom of our screen. It's going to be Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery.com. So, with that said, I'm going to take a quick water break here, and we'll be back in just a moment. Good morning. Good morning. Odon here in the Tri-State Traffic Center, and welcome to a Monday morning, approaching now 7:30. You're watching the Tri-State Traffic Show here for this Monday, May the 16th. Entire region here this morning. There we go. Still trying to figure out the social media stuff and the streaming platform, but we'll get it down. Again, this is only our sixth show. I had to think about that one for a second. Good morning to everybody watching us on Facebook and Twitter, as well as onto YouTube. Go ahead and post a comment. We'll put you on the show here this morning on YouTube and Facebook, Twitter. I can't read the comments yet. We're still trying to figure that out, but go ahead and leave the comments afterwards, and I'll certainly go ahead and get back to you a little bit later on today. So with that said, we're starting to heat up here across the area. Let's go back in towards New Jersey. We've got some issues here along Route 78 in towards Somerset County, and this is going to be in the Warren and Watchung areas. It's just before Hillcrest Road between exits 36 and 40. Want to watch for a crash in the process of being cleared. So let's see if they put that. Okay, they're saying it just reopened here now. Yeah, this is from 36 over towards exit 40 this morning. Like we have that clear here at 7:30. So still a little bit backed up. This is one of those spots that normally doesn't really get backed up terribly for the morning rush hour. But if you're going to get on to 78 here this morning, coming up from King George Road, you may want to just give yourself a couple of extra minutes here because it's probably going to take a good another 10-15 minutes or so heading out towards Sterling Road this morning and exit, or actually really for Hillcrest Road and exit 40. But, if you're inclined to do so, if you're living in this section of Warren, you can certainly come down Mount Bethel Road over towards Mountain Boulevard and then bring this all the way out towards the Watchung traffic circle and then head up Hillcrest Road. And then you can reconnect there with 78 if you're worried about any kind of a delay. But, it's probably going to take you just about as much time to come all the way down here than it is to just sit in that traffic. And again, we just got word from DOT that all of your travel lanes have been reopened from that earlier problem. So with that said, we'll head a little bit further west on 78. Our time now is 7:32, and we're sponsored by the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery, CranfordVanillaBeanCreamery.com. So 78 heading east of the Pennsylvania border looks pretty good. So does Route 22. No major issues here through Clinton, Lebanon, all the way out through Branchburg in towards Somerville. Same thing along 287 and 206 in Hillsborough is clear as well. 206 out through Flanders and Chester and Long Valley. Good morning to John and Jeannie there watching us in the Califon area. 287 is looking good, but Route 80 starting to back up now east of exit 30 and Howard Boulevard, heading all the way out towards Route 15 at exit 34. So kind of normal progression of traffic there. You know what I'm going to do is going to go full screen so you get a little bit better picture of that. No, everybody wants to look at my face, but at this point, we'll go ahead and put up the full screen map here for a little while. South on 15 in the Jefferson area, up at the Jefferson Diner, that's a little bit slow. And then 80 is fine as you get out through Fairfield and starting to build a little bit of early traffic here heading out towards Route 23. Same thing along 208 getting south into Maple Avenue and Goffle Road, and same thing along Route 4, even 17 now starting to hit the brakes as we make our way out towards Essex Street and Lodi. And then this is just a typical delay on 21 as you head north in towards the 46 interchange into 20. Let's take a look at Route 3. Route 3 has been, playing fairly nicely here for a Monday morning, maybe a little sluggish heading out towards the Meadowlands. And then the Parkway is real challenging here from 150 all the way down to 145. That's in either direction. There was some very early problems about a half an hour, 45 minutes ago north of 148, but that's now long cleared. Both ways of the 46 Route 3 interchange. The Little Falls is heavy. Let's take a look at the Northbound Turnpike now on the western spur, building volume into 15W. And then once you get out by the Lombardi, we're clear there. Also, 19 is really getting hit hard here from 78 all the way up into towards truck routes 1 and 9 in the Skyway. We're probably pushing this number closer to about 35 minutes now. So if you're heading to the Holland, I would say stay with the Bay Extension. If you can deal with the delay here north on the Turnpike at 14 and then eastbound on the Bay Extension, just as you get up onto the span of the bridge, that's where it's a little bit crowded. And then north again here at 13, slow in the Elizabeth and Linden areas. But other than that, the Turnpike, will widen it up here at 734. Looks absolutely fantastic. 195 is good, but north on the Parkway now, we're slowly hitting the brakes as we come up in towards about exit 91 out of 89. And then let's take a look at what else is going on here. I see a little red on the AC Expressway. No, okay. Fine. That area of Galloway, a little bit of a slowdown, nothing reported. Northbound 42, just a parking lot. We'll go, let's say south of 168 in towards 55 and 295, and then 55 is heavy right at that interchange. And again, when is that not heavy, right? It just seems like it just seems like it's heavy pretty much all of the time as you head up in towards the Ben Franklin Bridge and 295 and 76. So with that said, let's check in with let's just run down a couple cameras here on the turnpike, shall we? We have about another minute before we have to head over towards the city. Let's just go south of 14. Let's see what that delay looks like. Yeah, that's a pretty solid ride here heading north coming towards us as you head up into the interchange, the Bay Extension. Let's do a quick spot check here. Let's see if I can find the Bay Extension. Oh, well, we'll go, south of 15W. We saw some delays there. No, that's at the Toll Plaza. Toll Plaza shot. The camera's not working there. So, yeah, that's north. That's heading away from us here. So, a little bit slow heading in towards 280. See if we can find that Bay Extension. Yeah, here we go at 14 at mile marker 0. Look at that. And a lot of that is sun glare. Morning. This is inbound coming towards us. Let's see if we can get onto the bridge itself. No, that camera's not working. That's not the greatest picture. And again, steady moving traffic. It's just too bad they don't think about. I'm sure they've thought about it, making that shoulder. They did when the Skyway was shut, keeping that shoulder open for the morning rush hour. I think that would help out a little bit. Or the delays just getting up and on the actual bridge itself. So there's a couple spot check cameras of the turnpike here this morning as we head over towards the Garden State Parkway. We'll take a quick check there. Let's go up towards 148, and yeah, that's steady moving traffic. And then south of the toll plaza, that's not going to show us anything there. This is at the tolls for Bloomfield Avenue. We want the north of 147. Yeah, stacked and packed here both ways. And it's just basically coming around the curve, northbound, heading up into Bloomfield Avenue. You kind of go up a little bit and then you come back down again over Bloomfield Avenue. So again, just kind of the typical hot spots there. Let's check in with New Jersey Transit. Know we're a couple minutes behind. And if you're just joining us, welcome to the Tri-State Traffic Show here on a Monday morning. I'm down here in the home traffic studio. Let's we'll kind of run down things. We're going to go to the city in Long Island. We're going to take a break for weather at 45. That's what we're going to try to hit is 15 and 45 for some weather. We have Mr. John Rocco joining us with our weather forecasting. He's part of the weather team here in the on the Tri-State Traffic Show. We still have this Riverline delay, but that's just one train is canceled, the 757 out of Trenton because of operator availability. And we do have actually now some delays here on the Northeast corridor for mechanical issues. So let's kind of give you the rundown there. I have to just widen this up. Go to the corridor first. Let's see. 646 has been canceled out of Trenton. The 59 has been canceled. 659, those have already passed, and the 634. So you may see some delays kind of upstream here coming out of Trenton, and the one canceled coming out of Penn Station in the city. Just watch for that. Give yourself another 10, I'd say 10, 15 minutes just to be safe. So let's head on over towards New York City, shall we, here for the next couple of minutes, the next 5 minutes or so. We go to Staten Island, and when is this never an issue, right? It seems like it's always all backed up. Let's take a look at what we've got here this morning across the expressway. Pretty busy here from the Goethals Bridge on into the Verrazano, and then the Belt Parkway doing now what it does best, a little after 7:30 or so. That's kind of what I've been finding the last week. That's really starting to build up in towards Flatbush Avenue. Inbound Gowanus is a solid ride right out of the Belt Merge all the way up in towards the Brooklyn Bridge. Starting to see a lot of delays through Queens and the westbound belts as well, passing the airport, and the Van Wyck is a solid ride from the belts into Kew Gardens. And then we got delays along the BQE here this morning as you head south of the Kosciuszko Bridge and Queens Boulevard. Again, just normal stuff heading out to the Williamsburg Bridge. Let's check the bridges and tunnels. We'll go to the Battery Tunnel, putting that at about 10 minutes. We'll say about 5-6 minutes or so at the Williamsburg Bridge. Manhattan is going to be a little bit better here. Yeah, Manhattan Bridge is usually pretty good into the city. The problem is just trying to get there, because once you come off of the BQE, you kind of have to come around a local street, and then you have to Then you get the approach into Manhattan Bridge is why a lot of folks opt for the Williamsburg Bridge off the southbound BQ because it's direct access. You don't have to worry about that. And the Brooklyn Bridge is just tied up just because it's the BQE and there's like two lanes and everyone's on top of each other and everyone's trying to get into the city from the Brooklyn Bridge. FDR starting to crowd up a little bit in towards the Williamsburg Bridge heading north. We're going to put that Midtown delay at about 15 minutes or so. Same thing at the Queensboro Bridge. And then again, your normal stuff through Queens here on the LIE, pretty much from the Clearview all the way out through to Woodhaven Boulevard. Same thing on the Grand Central. Let's head up to the Bronx and look at this Grand Central. Pretty much kind of just do the loop straight off the Whitestone Expressway onto the Grand Central, heading all the way up and on to the RFK Triborough. And the westbound cross Bronx is going to be pretty busy. When is that not? This is pretty much from the interchange all the way to 3rd Ave. And then south on the Bruckner is heavy out of the interchange, all the way onto the elevated section, back onto the Deegan, heading north into Willis. And then the southbound Deegan just straight out of the Yonkers line, getting all the way in towards Yankee Stadium is going to be a bit heavy. Let's head out to the island, shall we? Take a look at the westbound LIE now building a regular volume here. Westbound into 111, a little bit heavy out of Vets Highway, then again into the Saginaw Coast, out towards Deer Park Avenue, and then heavy out to 135. Your northern states building through, South Oyster Bay Road in towards the Wantagh, and then again as you kind of come around the curve here, making your way out to the Meadowbrook, and then eventually the westbound northern state looks pretty slow here this morning. Getting out towards Lakeville Road, and then the LIE heavy right at the Queens line. So the Southern State Parkway not faring much better. We'll go all the way from 109 straight in towards the Wantagh, and then we continue further a little bit heavier out to the Meadowbrook, all the way out to Peninsula Boulevard. And once you pass that, getting through Hempstead, things kind of open up for you. So again, just kind of normal stuff for that morning rush hour along the Southern State Parkway. Let's see if I can bring up a couple of those cameras here. They say cameras worth 1,000 words. So let me just bring up my cameras here. We want to go to, where are we going? We're going to take out the city cameras. We want to go back to the state cameras. This should put me back on Long Island. And indeed it does. So let's focus in on the expressway first, out by the Saginaw Coast. Let's see what we've got. What we can see here. Oh, no, this is a Wix. Camera I want. Let's see what this is. That's the Saginaw Coast. West of that, yeah, this is a little bit busy here at Comac Road. But when is that not an issue for the morning rush hour? Even though they have the the red lights for the entrance ramps, kind of very SoCal, Southern Cali kind of style there. Getting on to the 5 or the 10. Let's see give a spot check here at Vets Highway. Let's see if that camera loads up. Yep. That's steady moving traffic. I wouldn't say it's bumper to bumper. I mean, you do have some spaces, but you have a lot more of your friends on the westbound LIE there. Make our way a little bit further west of that. My favorite spot here. Gosh, 12 years working out on Long Island. My goodness, I know every way to get off of the island back to New Jersey you can imagine. LIE here at 44 and 135 is just jammed, heading all the way out to, well, basically just past it. Once you get out closer to 106 and 107, looks like things kind of open up for us. Hopefully that camera will work, but I guess not. So we'll go to the northern state. By Powell's Lane, that's west on the far left, is a little bit heavy, so you kind of get the snapshot of what the deal is here. I'll take a quick spot check of the Southern State Parkway. This is at 107, starting to build some westbound volume there, and then obviously as you get out towards Merrick and 24, and that can push it all the way out to the Meadowbrook and 22. So that's westbound that heads away. So with that said, we'll take a very quick check here of transit for our friends out on Long Island. Let's see what the deal is this morning. Not much. We're on or close across the board, so that is going to be looking pretty good. Quick check of the subways. We've got delays here on the A train now. We've got as much service we can with the train crews we have available. That's an interesting message. You may wait longer for a southbound A train. We're running as much service as we can with the crews that we have. Interesting. Kind of like saying going into McDonald's and saying, well, you may experience some delays with your Big Mac because we're trying to make as many Big Macs as we can with the crews that we have. That's honesty. I'm not gonna say anything against that, but never seen that message before in 20 plus years doing traffic. Let's see what we've got here. And again, same thing on the W train. So look for that. So, all right. So we're here at 7:45 early on a Monday morning this morning. So, good morning to you. You're watching the Tri State Traffic Show as I reload my weather slides here from our good friend John Rocco. Follow him at John Rocco WX on Twitter. So, with that said, let's bring over our weather slides. There we go. Share that screen and we'll take a look at our weather here this morning. So, again, John is a Rutgers meteorology student and he is also president of the Rutgers Weather Watcher Club. So he wants to be a broadcast meteorologist and does an amazing job with the graphics. And John is a little under the weather here this morning, so he'll be joining us hopefully later in the week with some live reports. But nonetheless, he's prepared the forecast for today, so I will go ahead and step in for Mr. Rocco, although there is no one that can step in for Mr. Rocco here on the Tri-State Traffic Show. So with that said, let's take a look at your forecast here for this morning. You can see kind of a more clouds than sun type deal for the morning commute throughout the entire area, pretty much straight across the board. You know, your temperatures here today are going to be starting out in towards the 60s. So we'll start out on Long Island, you know, up towards the upper 50s to lower 60s here this morning, and a little cooler at some of the shore points. We have 64 to 65 here, mid to upper 60s in the five boroughs that you're starting off with. Also, your commuter forecast here in Jersey, a little bit cooler, as John says, out towards Atlantic City, Cape May along the shoreline, lower upper 50s to mid 60s and almost 66 in Newark. Connecticut in towards the lower 60s there, 64 in Yonkers and up to 63 in Middletown. Also in Western Connecticut, we've got 61 in Bridgeport and Norwalk, and 63 and 62 in Torrington, 63 in Waterbury, and 62 in the capital. Let's give you the rundown for today's forecast. We're looking at definitely a warm day for this time of the year. Temperatures in towards the mid to upper 70s to lower 80s in Trenton and Cherry Hill. Also, the biggest issue is going to be later on this afternoon when this weather pattern kind of heats up, and we certainly have the potential for some severe storms here this evening. So keep an eye to the sky. As John says, it could get quite ugly here for the evening commute. So if you're able to leave work early later this afternoon, could be a little bit beneficial towards you, depending on where you're coming and going to. Elevated risk for some severe thunderstorms with some of those threats potentially could include, not saying it's going to happen, but could include damaging wind gusts over 60 miles an hour, some hail, and potentially an isolated tornado threat. So keep your phone handy, keep those phones charged. You may get some weather alerts from the National Weather Service as well. If there happen to be some sort of tornadic activity here throughout our tri-state area, certainly heed those warnings. And again, probably a good idea to charge up all of your mobile devices and just have them ready to go just in the chance that you do lose power, and the potential also for some isolated flash flooding. So again, kind of keep that in mind. If you want the latest on the forecast, follow John on Twitter at John Rocco WX. Again, he's on Twitter, and he is a Rutgers meteorology student and president of the Rutgers Weather Watcher Club. And we thank John for the forecast here on the Tri-State Traffic Show. So let's, speaking of the show, let's get back to the show here this morning, as looks like the computer is taking a break. So let's put me back up on screen here this morning. And yeah, it looks like the computer has frozen, although I think you can still go ahead and hear me. So let's see if we can figure this out here together in real time. I don't want to end the stream, but something's not liking what we got here. this morning. Let's see what we can do. Computer, very, very temperamental. So let's see. I was able to click on this screen here. I can't even change the weather stream. So let's see what we can do. Um, Again, if you're watching us on Facebook, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment. I'd like to read the comments. I see another one coming in, but I can't. Computer is not playing quite nicely with me here this morning. So let's see what we can do. Oh, there we go. Oh, something happened. There we go. Now we got it. All right. I think it was just the I must have lost all the rest of the screen. So we're going to open this back up and let's head back to the Google Maps. So this is some good news here. We're able to get this back up and running. So let's put this back up and we will bring up our traffic. And it is now 7:51. We want to go up to the Hudson Valley in Connecticut, shall we? Let's bring things over towards, let's go back to Connecticut. I'm going to leave that map up for you. And I just want to, just had to bring my weather map back over here. Got the StreamYard back up. Let's pull up the sponsorship. And we are sponsored by the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. Go to CranfordVanillaBeanCreamery.com. Take a very, very quick break before we get to Connecticut. Just want to take a look at this tech issue, and we'll be back in just a moment. Good morning. Good morning. We are back. Had to take a quick technical break for a moment, a little water. Just had to figure out what was going on with the computer. I think it's starting to heat up again, although I have a fan on the computer, but it's a little humid here in the tri-state traffic. Traffic center, I should say. And folks, it's a Monday. It's almost 8:00. I was out there trying to watch that eclipse last night, but to no avail. Unable to see anything with the clouds. So maybe this evening, once some of the weather goes through, we'll get to another check of weather at 8:15. Courtesy for a good friend, John Rocco. Maybe once some of those storms kind of blow through, maybe it'll clear out, sanitize the sky a little bit, and we're able to get a little bit better of the full moon. Unfortunately, not going to see the eclipse as we were supposed to have seen last night, but nonetheless, able to get a pretty nice picture of the full moon. So cranked up the AC here in the Tri-State Traffic Center, kind of cool things off. So hopefully that'll play nicely with our computer. All right, so we're coming up on 7:55. Going to hold to this time here for the Hudson Valley, Connecticut at 5, right? Actually 15 or so. We're still trying to figure out this whole format, folks. It's a little bit tough to try to do at times all the regions because there's so much stuff going on here, and that's the reason why you're coming here to the Tri-State Traffic Show to get you through the morning commute. Let's go to the comments here. Auntie Anna, buenos dias. Good morning to you. Thanks for watching. And she's watching us on YouTube. If anybody's watching us on Facebook, please go ahead and put up a post if you can. I haven't seen anything from Facebook here this morning, so I'm just curious to see if the comments are actually working on Facebook. If you can, if you're watching us on Facebook, although I see a bunch of our friends have liked us on Facebook here this morning. So if you are able to go ahead and leave me a comment, please do so. I just want to check it out to see if the Facebook, the comments are actually coming through. Again, I see the likes, but I don't see the comments. So if you are able to do that, that would be a great help. So we'll take a look at the situation here along 95, as well as the Merritt Parkway. We're slowing down in the Trumbull area. When is that not a problem? And then south in towards Route 7. We'll go 46 all the way through 44 through the no exit zone into 39 all the way to 36. And then 95 is a fairly solid ride or right out of Bridgeport. Same thing on the 8 and 25 is pretty backed up there. Getting on to 95, we'll go 27 straight on down the line through about 11, and then you get a little relief from about 11 into 9, then from 9 all the way down in towards exit 5 is just a mess. So again, just kind of normal stuff. Let's just check in with my friends in Connecticut, shall we? You have to kind of keep these tabs to a minimum until we get the new computer here in the traffic center. Let's see what we got here along 84. We got 95 delays. So there's no accidents or anything there. So that's good news. Here at 7:56, about ready to come up towards the top of the hour. Head over towards Westchester County, where the eastbound side of 287 starting to get pretty busy here from exits 3 out through 5. Same thing south on the Hutch is a solid ride south of 287, and then northbound on the Hutch pretty busy in towards Weavers Street. Some congestion here on your cross-county parkway. That's going to be in either direction west of the Hutch, and then west getting into the Sawmill up at Seminary. That's just typical delays there, trying to get yourself on to the Sawmill River Parkway. But the Thruway looks pretty good from 287 down through Yonkers, Tappan Zee Bridge, building some more moderate volume south out of the Palisades and the Thruway. But the Palisades looks like it has an issue. So let me go back towards our incident list. This is really the New Jersey list. We'll get to that in a minute. But we go back to there it is. Oh, that's the Sprain. And we're looking at a broken down vehicle there. Sawmill, Taconic, a couple broken down vehicles. Quite a few, actually. I don't have anything on the Palisades, so this may be new coming in towards about exit 10. Let's just see if there's any. No, it's just some volume. So watch for that out of Mount Ivy. Let's just check. Yeah, so just a lot of volume south on the Palisades. I'd have to say that definitely something happened in that location. Because it shouldn't be that heavy for the morning rush hour. So maybe some police activity, as we say in the traffic business, or there's definitely something going on there onto the Palisades Parkway. So 7:57 is our time. Once again, we are sponsored by my good friend Ralph over the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery, and you can find him at CranfordVanillaBeanCreamery.com. That's what we're going to do here as we head up 7:58 to the top of the hour, and we'll get back to New Jersey in a moment. Again, Ralph has some of the best handmade ice cream throughout the tri-state area. If you are in the New Jersey area, and especially Cranford, that's where he's located in downtown Cranford, right off the historic Raton Valley line. Just walk across the street and head on over towards Ralph and get some of that great ice cream. Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, kind of your core 3. Some of his other favorites, some of his other notables are Bananas Foster, as well as Cookie Monster, Cookie Dough, and Party Cake, one of my favorites. Holy Cannoli pretty much sells out all the time. It's just really amazing ice cream. Again, everything is handmade from scratch. He also has some soft ice cream treats as well. He also has Dole Whip, the pineapple whip, and the raspberry whip. That's really good for a really hot summer day. Very refreshing. Same thing with the sorbets. Absolutely delicious stuff. Let's talk to you about the vanilla cupcakes. Now, these are great for a birthday party, summertime birthday party, or just having a picnic, or just having a nice barbecue out in the backyard. He also has the Oreo pies, Heath bar pies. Also makes the classic flying saucers, with the chocolate, and then he has the chip witches with that nice soft vanilla ice cream. I'm getting pretty hungry right now. Also, he makes these amazing cakes, for birthdays, for any kind of celebration that you have, from a small one, 7 to 8 people. Also, a large sheet cake from 30 to 40 people. So he'll pretty much do anything, accommodate you as best as he can. Pretty much can make any of the cakes with any of the hard ice cream selections he has in the dipping case. So again, contact my good friend Ralph over at the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. His phone number is 908-272-3000. Follow him on the internet. The interwebs, right? Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery.com. You can also find him on Facebook as well as on Instagram. So, with all of that said, because I don't know how much I made sense here, because it's already 8 o'clock in the morning and you are watching the Tri State Traffic Show. Good morning to everybody here on a very, very early Monday. And I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or whatnot. I was up late last night trying to watch the eclipse. Unfortunately, wasn't able to see anything, but nonetheless, a little bit tired here for the Monday morning drive. We'll get you through it. That's what we're here. We're going to have a little fun as well. We also have a newest member of the Tri-State Traffic Team. He is John Rocco. He is our meteorologist in training, Rutgers student, and he is going to be providing forecasts for the Tri-State Traffic Show, and you'll be able to pick up those forecasts at 15 and 45 after the hour. With that said, once again, good morning, everybody, for the Monday morning ride. We are going to take a look at what's going on here this morning in New Jersey. That's where we're going to head back to. We just finished up Hudson Valley and Connecticut. So we start here in the north, looking at a lot of traffic along Route 208 as you get out towards Goffle and Maple Avenue. Also west on 80, we're seeing a lot of traffic here this morning as you head through the Saddlebrook area. Coming in towards Route 20 out of the Garden State Parkway. So again, starting to see just your normal kind of delays there on Route 80, as well as now 17 looks like they're saying there may be a crash in the Essex Street area. Lodi. So with that said, let's go back to the camera, shall we? And let's take a check of what we have going on here on the 17. I get this right this time, folks. It's the camera. Well, no, I gotta go to the, let's see, 80 at 17. Let's just see if they have that camera in service. This one, 17 north or south. Again, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you could do me a favor and leave me a comment, just say hello. Because I'm not seeing the comments on Facebook, and Friday we had a lot of comments on the Facebook page, but and actually I saw those like after the fact, so I'm not quite sure what's going on as far as why I'm not seeing those comments on Facebook, but we'll take a look. So there's 80 at 17, so that looks okay, but again, it's really 17 is kind of backed up. Let me see if I can get that camera, and again, that camera is on Route 4 here at 802. We go to 17. That's not the camera I want. It's this one here, west, because they usually have it on 17 south. Yeah, so we're jammed here from the Garden State Plaza Mall all the way down towards Essex Street in Lodi. And there's definitely something going on here. So be careful as you come up from the Bendix Diner in towards Route 80. And as you make your approach on into Lodi, it's going to be a little bit slow. Let's take a look at Route 46. Actually in pretty good shape here this morning. Same thing along Route 3. You know, Route 3 has been really, really in a good fashion here as we head out towards the Meadowlands this morning. Let's check in westbound Route 3, heavy at the 46 interchange. When is that never an issue, right? Parkway is busy both ways in Bloomfield down through 148. And let's take a look at the Turnpike. And this is starting to hit the brakes here, heading south in towards 15W. And then north onto the eastern spur is going to be a sluggish ride. And the Holland Tunnel, we're going to give you the numbers here in a minute, but really backed up about halfway across the span of your Pulaski Skyway. Let's check out the ride on Route 22. Let's see what's happening here this morning. Starting to see some volume in towards Blois Street and Hillside. Also both ways of the Parkway, a little slow over by 140 through that long-term construction. And then 78, we're hitting the brakes as you head west here, heading out to Vauxhall in Union Township. Again, if you could, again, the Facebook comments, I'm just curious why I'm not seeing those. If anybody is posting a comment, let's see what we got here. A little bit delay on 22 heading east, getting out towards Mountain Avenue before Echo Lake Park, out in front of the Mountainside Municipal Building. Again, that's kind of normal stuff. This 78 issue, I was told by the DOT that it was cleared just after exit 36, but I think a second or third accident has happened here going east, because now this is just a solid parking lot getting well, I don't want to say back to 33, but depending on how long it stays out there, we could potentially get back to 33. So now here's the heads up, friends, for our good friends out in Bedminster and Liberty Corner, maybe Basking Ridge or so, or even in Bridgewater if you're coming up 287, trying to get on eastbound 78. Unfortunately, if you're already committed to this section of 287, you can't really take 22, but I would think I would stay with 22 through this section of Somerset County if you can. If you're watching us locally in the Warren area, trying to get on the 78, you may want to now opt for Mountain Boulevard here this morning, and then make your way out to the Watchung traffic circle. I think that's kind of why this is starting to back up a little bit, although it is 8:05, and that's kind of normal stuff to a degree for the morning rush hour. But I think you're starting to see a few extra friends making their way onto Hillcrest Road now, trying to avoid the issues on 78. Because if you wanted to get on here off of King George Road, that is not the issue. That's not what you want to do. And you're also seeing people bailing out at 36 and gonna try to make their way. So be careful here, friends, because this is local streets here. You want to be real careful. You're coming off of a major highway. You're trying to get around this delay in some ways. Sometimes from here to here, you're almost better off just staying with the delay instead of trying to wind yourself around through Mountain Boulevard. But some people, in the car, that they want to, they just gotta keep moving, right? So that is really a hot spot there on 78. We had a little bit further west out to Clinton and Lebanon. They're fine. Even Central Jersey, 287, a little more volume heading north into Edison. The Parkway across the Driscoll Bridge actually looks pretty good. And same thing on the Turnpike here through the Carteret area. Really not a major issue. Turnpike and 33, 195 is fine. It's here on 29. As we zoom in, drill into the details, pretty busy getting in towards the Trenton Tunnel, but that's normal for the State House workers looking to get to work on time. We head to the Parkway, a little bit busy through Brick from 89 up to 91. And then also this delay on 55 and 42. This actually is beginning to thin itself out. We were well back south here, just north of the AC Expressway, but that seems like it's slowly thinning out, getting on to 42 on the approach into 295 and the north through Haddon Heights. It's going to be a little busy here this morning as well. But South Jersey, Cape May County, looking pretty good. Although let's take a look at is this the Parkway? No, that's Route 9. Oh, that is the Parkway. The Parkway going south here this morning. They may be setting up some early midday construction. And this is going to be, I'm going to say south of about exit 36 or so. Let's just see what that is. Yeah, south of 36 is going to be a little bit slow. My feeling is that, well, again, it could be an accident not being reported yet, but I'm feeling they may be a little midday road work heading out early. All right. So with that said, we're here at 8:08. Let's talk to our friends on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Again, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you could just do me a huge, huge favor and just say hello or something. I'm just trying to find out whether I'm getting any of the comments because I haven't seen anything come through here since we started about an hour and 15 minutes ago. Just trying to see if I can get the Facebook comments because on Friday it was getting Facebook comments, but now I'm not getting anything. So it could be nobody's posting anything, but either way, just do me that favor. That would be much appreciated. Let's head on over towards the city now. Well, let's do a quick spot check of NJ Transit. Take a look at what the situation is here. We had some issues on the River Line. That 757 is canceled out of Trenton, and we'll make our way over towards a couple early canceled trains on the corridor. So could still have some ripple effects now, probably further upstream, up towards, Elizabeth and maybe up towards Newark. But again, just give yourself a couple of minutes of extra travel time. Again, the NJ Transit doesn't take these off the board until the train actually gets to its final destination, which would be New York Penn. And then coming out of Penn, now we're kicking up a couple of trains there that are canceled about an hour or so ago. All right, so we've taken care of the transit situation. We want to head over to a look of the Hudson River crossings, shall we? See what the story is here. We're pretty stacked and packed on this early Monday morning. We'll go on average about 40 at the George, half at the Lincoln, about 25 to 30 at the Holland. Again, the worst of those approaches at the Holland is going to be the Skyway is just jammed. Again, you're better off with the Bay Extension. I think I like that just a little bit better for you. All right, so now it's 8:10. Let's head over towards go over to the city. Again, I was trying to hold to this format, but it gets a little tough when there's just so much going on. Eastbound on the expressway across Staten Island, pretty much from the West Shore all the way into the Verrazano is busy. Same thing on the westbound belt. Straight out of Patrick Basin and Rockaway Parkway through Flatbush Avenue. The inbound Gowanus is going to be a mess, getting all the way up and onto the BQE as we zoom in there a little bit. Your Battery Tunnel is probably about 15 minutes or so. Now I'm looking at potentially an accident on the BQE in the trench. Let's why not? Let's head on over and take a look for my good friends over at the city DOT this morning. We will take a look to see what the situation is. Over to here. BQE, the trench. There we go. This up at Congress. Interesting. I don't know what's going on there. Different way to look at the cameras. There we go. That's kind of cool, right? So that's not the camera I want. I don't see anything. Let's take a look at Sackett trench as well. So not seeing anything there. Let's go westbound. Oh, see, it's bringing it up in a different program now. Computer, I think, is kind of on overload here this morning. It's kind of got a mind of its own, really. So that's inbound that heads away. And again, I think that's just a lot of just the volume. I don't see any flashing lights or police activity. We'll go towards Atlantic Avenue. This is not fun. Why is this doing this to me? So yeah, just a heavy ride here. Kind of just regular stuff. We'll do a quick spot check, shall we? Up towards the Brooklyn Bridge. Widen this camera up. Yeah, it's that cantilevered section, as they call it, very technical, right? That inbound side is at the top coming towards us. So the outbound is going to be a little bit heavy as well. Let's go back towards our maps. We're coming up on 8:12. We're going to another check of your forecast here in about 3 minutes with John Rocco. We'll make our way towards the LIE as you head west here this morning. A little heavy. When is that not an issue? Out towards Queens Boulevard. And then both ways of the Grand Central through St. John's is also going to be a sluggish ride. Cross Island is heavy, pretty much from Sunrise Highway all the way up in towards Grand Central. And then over to the Bronx, westbound cross Bronx is just stacked and packed, as they call it, out of the interchange, straight over towards the Bronx River Parkway. And now the Deegan is looking at potentially some problems there. So let's widen things up just a bit. Head up to the Bronx. Let's take a look and see what we've got. We're going to go here. See anything? And I don't know why these cameras are just not playing nicely here this morning. So this is north coming towards us, and that should be a little looser there than what it is. Let's hang with this. They're trying to find it as well. Just going to roll with this in real time and see if they see anything. And I have a feeling it's going to be potentially off into the distance there on the southbound side. Let's see if they find anything. Don't see anything. Well, that's going to be a tough shot because the roadway goes up and over. Not really going to be able to see much there. But this northbound is way heavier than what it should be. I have a feeling there's some rubbernecking delays of some type. Let's see if I can. No, this is too far up. This is too far north to find out what's going on. So it's something out by 230th by Bronx Community College. This is the bridge, 107th Street Bridge. Yeah, that's okay. Back to the maps. So yeah, so I don't want the little red lighthouse. It's an amazing place, but we're not going to do that today. Yeah, I would say right in front of Bronx Community College is where that accident is. And as you saw, the DOT was trying to find what was going on there. So I'm going to say at least a lane out because that is just way heavier than what it should be. More, look how far back that delay gets, almost all the way back to Yankee Stadium. So that's probably going to run you about another 15 minutes or so up to the cross Bronx. Hopefully no one's seriously injured there. But again, that is new here this morning. Also north on the Bruckner as you get up in towards just before the Hutch, actually really Pelham Parkway this morning. Watch for a crash being reported there. All right, so our time now is going to be 8:15, and we're going to take a quick check of our forecast here this morning, courtesy of our good friend, Mr. John Rocco. He's a meteorologist in training at Rutgers University here in the Great Garden State to be a broadcast meteorologist, and he's put together a forecast for us. Let's just slide this over, and we'll talk to you about the forecast here this morning. All right, so John is saying, kind of some more clouds than sun across the area for the morning rush hour ride. Take a look at some of those morning temperatures here this morning from the low 50s up towards the upper 50s, I should say, to low 60s across Long Island. Shirley at 61 and Westbury at 62. We'll take a look at the real-time updates from NOAA, the real-time reporting stations here in a moment. But again, this is kind of what the morning commute is going to be looking like across the board. We'll take a look at the 5 boroughs in towards the mid to upper 60s. It's a very humid feel. I've got the air conditioning really cranked up here in the traffic center, so it has that sticky feel to it. Last night I really tried to do the best I could to try to get a look at that full total lunar eclipse around 11:30 last night. Was unable to because the cloud cover really just kind of overswept things, and again, just kind of a early summer feel to the air, maybe a little unstable, and that's what we're going to get to in a minute. But again, your commuter forecast here into the low upper 50s to mid to upper 60s now in towards the Garden State. For the Hudson Valley in towards the lower 60s. That's where you're going to start off around 64 or 5 in Yonkers, and then up towards Western Connecticut with the lower 60s is your commuter forecast here this morning. So today's forecast, very warm, looking at some evening thunderstorms, temperatures into the upper 70s and lower 80s, a little cooler across the shorelines. You see 65 in Atlantic City and 68 in Islip. Now this afternoon and early this evening certainly has the potential for some very strong to severe thunderstorms, and it's an elevated risk. Again, not saying it's going to happen, but the potential is out there for some damaging winds, winds over 60 miles per hour, some hail, and potential isolated tornado. Now, with that said, make sure your phone is charged. Make sure you have all of that. You can get those weather alerts that will pop up on your phone if there is any chance of a tornado that happens to pop up. Certainly want to heed those warnings. But again, just be careful for the later half of the evening commute. You may want to try to leave just a little bit early to try to get yourself home, and the potential for some flash flooding as well. Now, you can follow John and his Twitter page at John Rocco WX. You can follow him there, and that will be where you can get some of the latest forecast here this morning. Let me just put up John's weather banner there. Sorry, Johnny, forgot to put that up there. I'll leave that run for just a couple of moments. And again, just be careful. This is more of a summertime type pattern here that we're going to get. But John says after this evening, things are looking really good, fairly quiet for the next couple of days. So that is certainly what we're looking for, as we get in towards the latter half of May. Again, it's the severe storms for today, but really no weather threats for the rest of the week. So certainly you just get through today. Looks like things are going to be in pretty good shape for the rest of the week. All right, so let's head back to our maps. I'm going to take the weather off of the screen, and we're going to talk to our friends here about the Hudson River crossings, give you another fresh refresh on the Hudsons. Let's take a look at what we got at the George. We're going to, as we were waiting for that, I saw we had another comment here. Smitty saying that adding weather is a nice touch. Yeah, thanks, Smitty. Appreciate that. And he is watching on YouTube. Good morning to you, pal. Yeah, we're gonna have John on. John, a little under the weather here today, so wish him the best, speedy recovery there. Get well, drink some tea, get some nice rest, and we'll have John here on the broadcast very, very soon. All right, so we want to go back to the banners here, and we're going to switch things back over to our sponsor, and that will be my friend Ralph over at the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. Find him at cranfordvanillabeancreamery.com. There's our live banner. Now, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you could just do me a favor, maybe leave me a comment, because I don't see any of the comments here this morning. We had some issues there with Facebook the other day, and I thought I fixed it, but I'm not seeing that. Unfortunately, I can't bring up my Facebook page here right at this moment without bringing the whole system down to its knees here. So let's do this. It's 8:21 now. Let's head over towards Long Island for the next 4 minutes or so and check out the ride there. We've got some delays on the Southern State Parkway, and this is going to be heading west of Deer Park Avenue. It's going to be a slow ride. Also, west on the LIE is a little bit heavy here at 135. And then continuing further west of that, it's they're saying maybe an accident here. That's on the eastbound side. All right, so let's take a look at what we got going on there. We'll head back to the maps here, because we want to just check in with our friends over at the state, see what we see. All right, so the air conditioner shut off, so that is, I guess, a little bit of good news, right? Where is it? Where did they say that accident was? This is going to be on S39. So we want to come in this area here. So if I had a difference, we'll go here. Take a look at the LIE. Hopefully this camera will come up. This is at Roslyn. That's west. That's heading away. I don't see anything east, which would be on the left, but heavier than what I'd like to see going east. So let's go closer towards the Northern State Connector. This is Glen Cove. That's eastbound coming towards us. That's westbound. This was regular traffic. So whatever it is, it may just be off, towards the shoulder. Check out the Northern State here at Roslyn Road. And this is westbound coming towards us. Typical slow go here through Nassau County. Nothing to get terribly excited about. If you're a driver on Northern State, you kind of know the drill there. Let's head over to the southern and do a quick spot check this morning on the SSP. We'll go here. That looks pretty good between 24 and 25. I've certainly seen worse at this time of the morning, but this is going to be where are we? On the eastbound side. So yeah, a little bit heavy now. Now it's kind of reverses. It starts off west. Now the eastbound side starts to get into the mix here as you head out towards exit 22 and the Meadowbrook. But it's kind of what we usually see. Let's widen up the map a little bit more. Head out to Suffolk. We've got some delays here on the southern at Deer Park Ave. And westbound on the LIE, starting to see a lot of volume here pushing this morning out of Holtzville, Holbrook into Ronkonkoma. So again, that's kind of normal stuff, maybe for the Monday morning ride. As this weather gets better, as we get into that maybe work from home thing from Thursdays and Fridays is usually when we start to see traffic loosen up east along Sunrise Highway, Hampton Bay, Shinnecock Hills, heading all the way out to Watermill is a solid ride, all the way out through Bridgehampton. But again, nothing out of the ordinary, as we take a look at that forecast from John, as we get out to the end of the week, I think we're looking at some really nice summer-like temperatures. So that could really be a favor, kind of help you out for the morning commute as people taking off Thursday and Friday, but could certainly be a problem if you're heading out to the Hamptons. All right, so we're coming up at 8:25. Let's make our way through Connecticut and the Hudson Valley now, and we'll check out the ride to see if we have any issues here this morning. Let's start things up here on the Merritt, and looks like we may have a crash. Let's check out my very, very good friends over the Connecticut State DOT and State Police, one of the best DOT agencies in the country. They do an amazing job. And yeah, there it is, 5860. We've got a crash. Um, don't know if if the camera is working in that location. Let's see. There's very few. There's only 3 cameras in the Merritt Parkway for the most part. And that is one of the areas that is off of the Sikorsky Bridge. So we'll go to there we go. And it's only going to bring up just a couple of cameras. This is a Meriden. So, okay. I wonder why that didn't. Okay. All right. No, I don't want Meriden. I wonder why that didn't. Alrighty. I thought that camera was going to come up for us, and just to take a look at what we got. Um, all right, 8:25 now. Where's our time? And again, friends, if you were watching us on Facebook, if you leave me a comment, because there's something I think is off here, because I haven't seen not one comment at all, although I'm seeing the likes for Facebook, but I haven't seen any comments at all here this morning. So even if you just give me a thumbs up, or "Hey, we're doing well," kind of a deal, do so. All right, so there's our crash on the Merritt as you head up to the Sikorsky Bridge just before exit 59. Is that right? Let's just see. Let's see. 53. I knew I was in the right spot, and they were saying 59 further up, which is way up here, which, okay, there is another accident from fifth in the area 59 and 60. So you want to watch for some delays there. But this is something new coming out of the 8 interchange from about 52 or so, getting in towards 53 through the Trumbull area. So be careful coming off of Route 8 if you're on your approach in towards the Merritt Parkway this morning from 52 to 53. We definitely have got something going on there. I was hoping that camera here by the Sikorsky Bridge and the Milford Parkway connector were working. You know what? Let me see. Maybe they listed under the Milford Parkway. Let's just see. Parkway is, oh gosh, what is the Milford Parkway? I think it's 796. Figure the Milford Parkway is interstate. Yeah, there it is. That's the Milford Parkway itself. Okay, so yeah. And again, you can see on the VMS here from 26 all the way through 11 saying on 95. Interesting that the Milford Parkway, I'm sure there's some kind of story there behind why that's an interstate, but I always find those things very interesting. All right, so that is going to be Connecticut for the most part. Go back to the maps. Again, we're coming up on 8:28 now, and we are sponsored by the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. CranfordVanillaBeanCreamery.com. Head over to and see Ralph for the best homemade ice cream in the tri-state area in beautiful downtown Cranford, New Jersey, in historic Union County, right off of the Raritan Valley line of New Jersey Transit. Once again, you can find him at CranfordVanillaBeanCreamery.com. All right, so take a look at that Merritt Parkway, and pretty much the same deal here out through Route 7 as you make your way from about exit 41 or so in towards 36. And there's your 95 delays straight out of, they're saying it out of 11, but I'm going to connect the dots here and go 11 through 9 all the way out into exit 5. Let's take a check of the Hudson Valley, shall we? And eastbound 287 is a solid ride from the Thruway. From basically exit 1 through 5. New England Thruway looks good. Northbound on the Hutch is busy as you get out in towards Weavers Street. But other than that, the Thruway through Yonkers doesn't look terrible. Cross County, still a little exiting volume there at the Sawmill River Parkway. And also both ways of the Cross County is a little bit slow west of the Hutch. Let's head over towards the Tappan Zee. That's beginning to thin out a little bit, just a little congestion getting onto the span. South on the Palisades is pretty heavy coming in towards exit 10, so watch for that. I still think there was something going on there a little while ago, and that's why that's as heavy as it is, because it shouldn't be that heavy for this time of the morning. Let's head up in towards Goshen, Chester, Monroe, Woodbury, 84. The Thruway is fine. Upper Westchester looks pretty good. Westbound on 84, a little heavy from the Connecticut line in towards Brewster. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the MTA. Let's take a look at Metro North, see how that is running, and we'll check in there. We got that substitute busing on the Pascack Valley line in New Jersey that kicks in at 8:50, I should say, at 8:50 here this morning. Long Island Railroad. Well, we got some reduced service here on the Montauk branch. I see your trains run every 2 hours between Babylon and Patchogue with additional bus service being provided. That's for some midday track work there. So be mindful of that. All right. So we're here at 8:30. Good morning, everyone. You're watching the Tri-State Traffic Show, and there is plenty of traffic to talk to you about. And we are sponsored by the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. And you find any and all information at CranfordVanillaBeanCreamery.com. Hi, everybody. I finally put myself back on screen here this morning. Unfortunately, this computer is still having some issues, so we'll hopefully get that fixed very, very soon. That's why it's a little bit choppy at times, but we'll get through it. Still doing its job. So good morning to everybody here at 8:30. Let's see what we want to do now. If you can post a comment there, either on YouTube or on Facebook, maybe just tell me where you're coming from or going to. We'll do a little personalized traffic for you here over the next half hour. Again, we're on until 9 o'clock this morning. And you know what? Let's go back to the full screen because I think it's a little bit easier to go ahead and read. There we go. We got the full screen up and running now. Let's head back to New Jersey. And this issue on 78 is finally cleared out by exit 40 before Hillcrest Road from 36 to 40. But now we're starting to see delays here into the Watchung Reservation by exit 44. Let's see if we can bring up that Jersey camera. See if we can find out what if anything's happening here this morning. Take a look together in real time along Route 78. And yes, we call it route, not interstate. That's what we do here. It's a Jersey thing, just like the jug handle. That was interesting. Just another Jersey traffic note here, right? Watching Law and Order this week, and doing their investigating some guy in a Lower East Side bar or whatever. And he knew that the individual in question, I want to give it away, no spoiler alerts or whatever, knew that she wasn't from the city because she talked about a jug handle. He's like, well, only people from Jersey talk about jug handles. That is true. That is true. The only place I think probably in the country, I'm not sure, but just going out on a limb and saying it could be one of the only places in the country that in order to make a left, you have to make a right. So we'll go to Diamond Hill Road. We'll check out the ride here this morning. Yeah, pretty heavy trying to get yourself out of Berkeley Heights into a Summit here in the northwestern section, Union County. Let's take a look at the ride at Glenside Road. Yeah, we're fine. There could be something going on here just out of the camera view, just before Glenside, but nothing being reported from our friends over at DOT. Let's go back to the list just in the chance that something has popped up, but here it is. I clicked on the wrong one. So we go to New Jersey incidents. Yeah, we've got nothing reported on 78, but we've got a crash on 22 now. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on there. This has been a hot spot the last couple of mornings. It's been this Route 22 area getting into Bloy Street. Now, first of all, this is like one of the most dangerous sections. I hate to say it that way, but that's what it is along Route 22. It is a tough ride. A lot of traffic, a lot of things coming in. I know 22, everyone's saying, well, what about through Union? Yeah, that is, but it's you have a little more room to work with here on this eastbound side, getting through Hillside. There's only 2 lanes. And as you come into Bloy Street, and it's gotten better with the sight lines as they've done this construction, but it is just a tough ride as you get out towards the McDonald's and the Wendy's there by the ShopRite of Hillside. And then it obviously opens up across that overpass over Liberty Ave. But then they're also doing this road work here out in front of Broad Street just before Weequahic Park in Newark. So again, this section of Route 22 is always a tough ride. So now what that's going to do now is here at 8:34 is for our friends here in Kenilworth, Cranford, and Clark. You got to be careful if you're heading out to Newark Liberty to catch a flight, picking up somebody. You're probably better off staying with eastbound 78, although I'm starting to see some delays getting into the Newark border. Um, just in the chance that for some reason they have to close down 22, nothing reported, but just in the chance that they may have to close that down just to vehicles and whatnot. You don't want to get stuck behind that. So again, heads up, I would pay the toll, the $2 toll, head east on 78. I think you have a lot more give there heading out to the airport, especially if you are in a bit of a time crunch. Again, Parkway is pretty busy both ways through the Bloomfield area. Here's that Skyway delay. We're about 35 minutes or so, about halfway across the Skyway, heading in towards the Holland Tunnel. I still like the Bay Extension is going to be is the much better ride. Looking at about, well, we'll say about 35 minutes here at the Lincoln. Spin it up to the George as well, probably closer to about 45 minutes. And although they're saying that something's going on at the span of the bridge there. I don't have any cameras there. I'm still trying to work out whether I can use that camera from our friends at the Fort Lee Police Department. That's on YouTube. I have to do some more investigation there. And then 17 both ways at Essex Street and Lodi is going to be a heavy ride. But what is happening now as we head to 836, we'll get to South Jersey in a minute, but this crash on the Deegan heading north at 230th is going to tie the ride up off the George as everyone's trying to get off here at the Deegan. Off the Cross Bronx and head north. So I would imagine that ramp is probably backed up as well. So now that's probably spilling out onto the Cross Bronx. We'll show you that camera in a minute. Just want to do a quick spot check here in central Jersey. 287 for the most part is fine. So is the Parker across the Driscoll, heading down the shore, 36, 34, also looking good. 195, 29 is still backed up getting in towards the Trenton Tunnel. And then just a little minor hiccup here on 42 getting into 55. But other than that, the Parkway and the AC Expressway is good. All right, so we're at 8:36 now, a little less than 10 minutes from our last and final check of weather. We'll head over towards that Deegan Cross Bronx mess here, just lighting it up here this morning like a Christmas tree. So we will head over to the city DOT cameras. And we thank our friends over at City DOT, again, do an awesome job as far as maintaining traffic throughout the 5 boroughs. Again, really top-notch stuff. Again, they must have it's got to be close to like a couple thousand cameras. It seems like they're on every street corner. Let's take a look at the Cross Bronx here at Undercliff. Let's see what we got. This is going back to the George, but here's that ramp to the Deegan. As I mentioned, it's definitely heavier than what it should be because of that crash on the Deegan North, getting into 230th. See if they were able to find anything here. Yeah, you can't see. It's just around the corner past the apartments here as the Deegan kind of goes up just past West 179th Street. Again, it's closer towards the Bronx Community College. Back in the day, the traffic and weather days, we had that Bronx Community College camera. That was a fantastic camera. And this is going to be down, where are we? Plaza, so we were just south of the Cross Bronx. Just wanted to see how far back that delay gets going north, and yeah, we're well back to Yankee Stadium, so that is really the big trouble there in the Bronx. West on the Cross Bronx is heavy. When is that not an issue? And then getting onto the Throgs Neck is a little bit slow, but the Whitestone is beginning to thin it out just a bit as we come up on 8:38. Again, friends, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you could throw up a comment. I think I'm not seeing the comments for some reason again on Facebook. We'll have to do some more investigation there. It's possible nobody's made a comment, but nonetheless, if you could, just a thumbs up or something just to let me know whether or not that we're going out to Facebook. I think we are. See, a lot of our friends have liked it here on the Facebook page. So, all right. So we'll talk to our friends here in Queens this morning. It's going to be a heavy ride on that BQE south of Queens Boulevard, heading all the way down in towards the Brooklyn Bridge. And then both ways of the Gowanus now really jammed into the Prospect Expressway. Just kind of a regular deal as you head out for the ride into The Battery Tunnel, probably running about 15 minutes or so into the Brooklyn Bridge. Is going to be a solid ride. So let's take a look at the drives here. And I don't mean to glance over them, but there's just so much other stuff that is going on. Let's head to the southbound drive, or say straight south of 125, all the way in towards, I'd say, the upper 40s or so, just south of the 59th Street Bridge, the Ed Koch Queensboro Bridge, as I call it. South on the west side is going to be heavy here, straight off the George Washington Bridge, but when is that never a problem? We'll take a spot check here with the belt. Still pretty congested out by the airport, and then west of Rockaway Parkway, all the way out to Coney Island Avenue now that they're saying there's potentially an accident. So let's see if we can zoom in there. Oh, going the wrong way there. Let's head down to Brooklyn and let's just check it out together. No, it's not. Let's head a little bit further south here. There we go. Go to Ocean Parkway. That's west now, unless they're talking about this here on the shoulder. It's certainly possible. Um, I mean, it's heavy, obviously, so it really doesn't make a difference at this point what's going on because it's on the shoulder, so it's not taking out a lane. So that's some good news here at 8:41. Let's just take a look at the cameras at Flatbush, and that's west. That's really heavy towards us. So I have a feeling that was taking out at least a lane for a short while. Make our way back to Pennsylvania. That's heavy. So yeah, that westbound belt, it just never seems to move. It just never seems to move. Just if for all that construction at the Mill Basin and over to Powdergate Basin, I mean, it's amazing that they fixed all those bridges, which had to be fixed, but it's just you got nowhere to go. So east, straight off of the Verrazano is going to be heavy. Let's make our way to, right here by Staten Island. So this is beginning to thin it up a little bit, but still heavy east of the West Shore into 440, and then heavy across the Verrazano. But when is that never a problem, right? Cross Island Parkway is going to be a slow go here, coming up from the southern state in towards basically the LIE, and then typical stuff out by St. John's here on the Grand Central, and the Van Wyck is just a disaster from the belt on up in towards the interchange. Let's go over towards the LIE, pretty heavy out by Casino Boulevard, and then east is solid ride all the way out to the island. Speaking of that, let's stay with the Long Island Expressway. Still some sluggishness now. We'll go west of exit 40 or so in towards 38. 37, that area. Northern State both ways. The Wantagh is a little bit heavy, and then the LIE West at 135 is slow. When is that never a problem, right? Westbound starting to thin it out a little bit at Deer Park, and same thing in towards Vets Highway out to 111. Sunrise Highway here at the merge in Bohemia, that's going to be a little bit slow. West on the southern, again, we're a solid ride. Starting to thin here out by 135, but then west of the Wantagh, again, Wantagh into the Meadowbrook is busy, and then east out of 18, all the way we'll go 18 to 22. It's going to be just a lot of brake checking there. All right, so we're at 8:43. Let's give you the rundown on Long Island Railroad, shall we? We'll see what the scene is here this morning. We'll go to the rails. We've got no scheduled service to Belmont Park, but that's certainly going to change here in about 2.5 weeks. Once we get the Belmont Stakes, was the Preakness run on Saturday? I think the Preakness was run on Saturday. It's usually the Derby, then the Preakness, and then they take like 2 weeks off, and they come back in the first Saturday of June. Not sure who won that actually. If it ran, I'm not even sure. Maybe this Saturday. If anybody knows, throw that up in the comments. So Long Island Railroad, some reduced service in the Montauk branch for the midday. So watch for that. That's going to be for some track work between Babylon and Patchogue. Trains running every 2 hours. Then we got this planned substitute busing going to take effect here in about 5 minutes on the Pascagoula Valley line. That's pretty much the entire length. All right, so we're here at 8:44, coming up to 8:45, and let's talk to you about the weather again here this morning. Received my good friend John Rocco. Let's reset the maps here. I got to take this off the screen, so let's reset his maps here this morning. And I think let's just see. Here we go. We will reset, and we'll back in just a quick second. We'll bring this on over. There we go. And now we're pushing 8:45. All right. So there it is. So again, this is a new element to the Tri-State Traffic Show, adding in some weather. And we are brought to you by John Rocco. He is a Rutgers meteorology student and president of the Rutgers Weather Watcher Club. You can follow John on Twitter at John Rocco WX for the latest forecast. And you certainly want to stay tuned for his Twitter page later on this afternoon and this evening. Things are going to start to heat up just a bit. For your morning commute here, again, more clouds than some sun. So, we're trying to watch the eclipse last night and was basically clouded over. Didn't really get to see much, but if you go on YouTube, there's some amazing pictures from Chile and from southern Arizona, Tucson, of this like gorgeous blood moon with the red hues into it. I wish I was able to see that with my camera last night, but unfortunately, I had a lot of cloud cover. All right, so let's continue on with our forecast. We'll take a look at temperatures here this morning in towards the lower 60s across the island. And we'll take a look at the 5 boroughs in towards the mid to upper 60s. So look for that. Still has that humid feel in the air. And same thing here across the Garden State. A little cooler along the shoreline into the upper 50s, lower 60s to start the day, and up towards the mid to upper 60s here in central and North Jersey. Let's take a look at the Hudson Valley into the lower 60s there, and also up towards western Connecticut. Again, 61 to 63, 64, and that temperature range is what we're seeing. So with the forecast for today, we have very warm conditions for this time of the year. Some evening thunderstorms are certainly a possibility. Keep an eye to the sky. Keep those cell phones charged. And again, there are potential could be out there. Potential. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the elements are setting up, as they say. For some really unstable weather to occur late this afternoon in towards this evening. So we're going to get well into the 70s to lower 80s, again, cooler along the shoreline in Atlantic City into the mid 60s. The same thing out towards the south shore of Long Island as well, only into the 60s. Again, it could potentially get a little bit ugly out there, as Johnny is saying. So if you can leave work early, that's possible. Certainly try to do that. There's also an elevated risk for severe thunderstorms. Now, again, some of these threats could include some damaging winds of up to 60 miles per hour, some hail, as well as an isolated tornado threat, as well as some isolated flash flooding. Again, follow John on his Twitter page for the latest updates throughout the day at John Rocco WX. Thank John for the forecast here this morning. Take a quick look at the current temperatures here this morning. Just take a look at what we got. Starting to warm up just a little bit closer towards the 70 mark here at LaGuardia and Central Park. Over to Teterboro at 70, but again, Trenton has some fog being reported at 64, and this is almost an hour old now. And again, out towards the island, as John was spot on there, into the lower to mid 60s with some of that cloud cover. Actually, it's fair skies there at Farmingdale and Shirley, but Kennedy gets 63 and mostly cloudy, and same thing at Newark. Yeah, Newark Liberty coming in at 72. All right, so we're at 8:48 now, or on the tail end of the morning rush hour. Again, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you can go ahead and leave me a comment, much appreciated. I just want to see if the comments are actually working here this morning, because I haven't seen any come in all morning long. And on Friday, we had a lot of comments on Facebook, but for some reason, I'm not seeing the comments coming through. So the next 10 minutes, if you could just do me that favor and just throw me a thumbs up, something, we'll put you on the show. All right, so 8:50 now is our time. Let's head back to our maps, and I think I lost my Google Maps. So we did. We lost the Google Maps. Oh no, trouble, right? So we want to click off of this. Let's head back to the old Google, right? We want to go to Maps. There we go. Bring this back up. Let's put on the come on. So slow. It's a Monday. All All right. So widen things up just a bit. All right. So 8:50 is our time. Let's go back up towards Connecticut just to see if it's getting any better here this morning. And our issue here was on the northbound side of the Merritt, getting word of a crash here between 52 and 53. Let's just double check and confirm that that is exactly what that is. Go Route 15. They don't have anything on the list, but there's absolutely something going on there. There's no question in my mind that there is some type of an accident because it shouldn't be this heavy. I mean, it's the morning rush hour. It does get a little bit heavy in that area, but it should not be um, as heavy as it is through that section of the Merritt Parkway. So we had a little bit further north of that. We also had some delays up to 59 and 60 in this area here. Looks like that has gone throughout Woodbridge. So that is good news for drivers there. The ride along the shoreline, Bridgeport, Fairfield, out to Stratford is fine. So is the 8 and 25. A little crowded here as you come through the no exit zone in towards exit 44. Or actually south of 46 to 44. And then further south of that through 41. This is the no exit zone here. That's really the most of the congestion on the Merritt is south of Route 7, all the way out to exit 36. Then we'll go 95 is heavy from about 18 straight on down the line throughout exit 5. So let's spin it over to Westchester County now. We're coming up on 8:51. We've got about 10 minutes left in the show. We head east on 287. That's going to be heavy. Still between exits about 2 through 5. The Hutch still some volume here over by Weaver Street. And then the New England Thruway looks good. And the New York State Thruway also is pretty quiet. And again, it's this cross-county parkway. Can't really seem to catch any kind of a break at all, getting west out by the seminary. Into the Sawmill River Parkway. And again, my days of traffic and weather, we used to have those seminary cameras that always were just great pictures there, even heading out to Yonkers Mall there. Let's take a look at the Thruway getting south onto the Tappan Zee. That's a pretty busy ride. It was starting to ease up, and then we're starting to see more volume again this morning. So kind of just normal stuff for the ebb and flow here, getting closer to the mid-morning hours. Upper Westchester, Orange, Dutchess counties is good on 84. The Thruway, Route 6, 84 all the way out to Port Jervis is going to be moving fine. Let's go back to the incident list here this morning. We've got the delays on 22. We'll get to kind of do a quick wrap up, a roundup across the area. There's the city. So it looks like that accident on the Thruway, the Major Deegan is still there. And that is really putting the brakes on things here, getting from Yankee Stadium all the way out to Bronx Community College. So please just watch for that. West on the Cross, Bronx will go end to end now. It looks like they're starting to set up the lower roadway construction at the George. Let's see if we can see any of that here this morning as we get underneath the apartments. Technically the Trans-Manhattan Expressway. So that would be traffic that's headed away. Again, momentarily that's going to go out. Now, unless there's something, this is Amsterdam Avenue. No, we don't want that, although that is pretty busy. Eventually, roadwork's going to go out. And just look at this. I mean, you've got nowhere to go. It's just like this all the time. It's like practically 24/7. It just doesn't move. It's crazy. Amsterdam at 181. Again, that's the camera I just showed you. So that is actually, is that the Cross Bronx? No, that's across the University Heights Bridge. Let's see if I can find that camera that's underneath the apartment. So we showed you that, but I don't see any roadwork setting up. So again, those construction vehicles may be off to the side and getting ready to light up here the next about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so we're getting ready to wrap up the big broadcast here for a Monday, and I want to thank all our friends here who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to take a look at that Facebook situation to see if I can get those comments to post if anybody was posting anything. Looks like our crash here on eastbound 22 in Hillside in New Jersey has been cleared, so that's good news there. Also on the Bay Extension, a little heavy still here at 14, but that inbound Skyway is still just seeing a ton of traffic getting out to the Holland Tunnel. You know what? Let's do this. We're done with Connecticut for the morning. We're done with our weather as well. Done with this. We'll tell you about Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery in just a moment. Bridges and tunnels. Run down the latest numbers here. I would imagine the George is probably the worst of the three, especially with that cross Bronx delay, as I showed you out by the Deegan. Yeah, about an hour for the lower. We'll split the difference about 45 to an hour at tops, about 25 at the Lincoln, about a half an hour at the Holland. So really just jammed here for a Monday morning as you make your way across the Hudson River. Now, again, for the Holland, I like the Bay Extension a little bit better than where you're going to sit in here. Getting off of 19 underneath the covered roadway. Let's continue on towards central Jersey. Just some spot delays here and there along Route 1. That's traffic lights. Same thing along 206. But 78 is finally moving better out through the Warren area. That crash has been long cleared out by exit 40. Through Morristown, again, through Morristown. Beautiful historic Morristown. I haven't been there in a while. That'd be, it's kind of always a nice place to go during the summer. 287, 24, 80 really looks in good shape. 17, a little bit busy both ways through the Lodi area. Same thing on the Parkway as you get up from 147 through 150. And let's head down the shore because today, temperature-wise, may be a little bit cooler than what you're seeing inland, as John said. In towards the upper 60s to maybe pushing 70 or so, but it's really the eye to the sky for later on today. Follow John at John Rocco WX on Twitter. He'll give you the latest forecast for the Monday afternoon and evening ride home, which could certainly be a little bit difficult. So you want to be real careful and keep an eye to the sky. But the Parkway, pretty much from Atlantic City straight on through Toms River in through Monmouth County. 195 is good. 29, a little heavy at the Trenton Tunnel. And then also Deptford 55 is going to be just a bit busy. And all the way down to historic, beautiful Cape May at exit 0. Yeah, that's how we'll end the broadcast, at exit 0. Always like saying exit 0, right? Looking very, very quiet here this morning. All right, so with that said, we're getting ready to wrap up the show here for a Monday morning. I want to talk to you about our sponsor is the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. You can find Ralph in beautiful downtown Cranford in New Jersey in historic Union County, right off of the Raritan Valley line. His phone number is 908-272-3000. You can visit him at CranfordVanillaBeanCreamery.com. Make some of the best handmade, homemade ice cream in the tri-state area. He obviously has those core three, the vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. And some of my favorites are the holy cannoli. The party cake is just an amazing ice cream. That's probably my favorite, is the party cake. I'm sure if you go in and you tell him that I sent you, he'll say the same thing. That's usually what I get. Also, the mint chocolate chip is another popular item. And the Bananas Foster is an award-winning ice cream. So definitely give that a try if you are in the Cranford area. Now, Ralph also makes a lot of other things, really cool stuff. These vanilla cupcakes, if you're having a birthday party, a nice summertime treat for a barbecue, or any kind of an occasion, or just because you like vanilla cupcakes, right, with ice cream. Who doesn't? We have the pies, the Oreo, and the Heath bar, also the ice cream sandwiches, the flying saucers, and the chipwiches, another kid favorite, adult favorite too, right? Who doesn't like a chipwich, right? On a nice hot summer's day. And he also makes these amazing ice cream cakes. These are all handmade. You can make them with any of the ice cream that he has in the dipping case. So certainly give Ralph a call. Let him know what you're looking for, from a small round from 7 to 8 people all the way out to a large sheet cake from 30 to 40 people. So cakes are very, very Very, very good. I mean, I've had many of an ice cream cake from Ralph, and it's just absolutely outstanding stuff. Make some other signature cakes like these banana Foster's cake, like the bananas Foster. I get that right. It's a Monday, folks, here, and we're just about ready to wrap up. So there's the bananas Foster. Really awesome stuff. And again, he can make just about anything that's in that dipping case into a cake. Again, give Ralph a call for some of the best homemade ice cream. There's his contact information, 272-3000. There's his hours from about noon or so, all the way till about 9:30, 10 o'clock, a little later on Friday and Saturday. You know what? As we finish up here this morning, I think I may have a couple pictures we can throw up. And there we go. There's some of the ice cream he has in the case. I mean, look how good that stuff looks, right? There's your flying saucers, as well as your chip witches and some more of that awesome ice cream, the Cookie Monster, M&M Explosion. And also my new favorite is that blood orange sorbet. Probably would have gone very well yesterday with our blood moon that I was unable to see because of the cloud cover, and pretty much just about everybody here along the tri-state area was unable to see as well. But this evening, if those storms, hopefully there's nothing damaging, hopefully that will kind of sanitize the air. You can get out and at least maybe get some good photography of the full moon here on a Monday. So once again, Ralph, contact him at 272-3000 in beautiful downtown Cranford, New Jersey. So with that said, friends, we are going to wrap up things here for the morning rush hour. O'Don here in the Tri-State Traffic Center. Again, we thank you very much for watching. We're on Facebook. We're also on Twitter and YouTube. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out what's going on with the Facebook comments so we can get those put into the broadcast for tomorrow. So we'll once again have a fantastic day. Again, keep an eye to the sky, watch that weather, follow John Rocco on Twitter at John Rocco WX for the latest forecast. And again, just be safe out there. Be careful. If your car, you normally park in somewhat of a flood prone zone, be really careful. Maybe you can move that car to the center of town, or a parking garage, what have you, if that's where you need to do things, or maybe borrow your neighbor's driveway just to get it out of the way, because that's one of the worst things. Some of the worst stuff you can do is have a flooded out car. Boy, those problems just keep on going. We don't want to talk about that. We don't talk about the problems, right? So again, just keep an eye to the sky, keep weather aware. Follow John at John Rocco WX on Twitter for the latest information. So with that said, we'll see you tomorrow, folks. 7 a.m. Bright and early for your Tuesday morning. Have a fantastic Monday, everybody.